What's going on, people in YouTube land? Kimchi Chris here, and welcome to today's brand new video. The first video in a while that isn't a little sad or isn't about real world problems, about something exciting, about something fun, about something that we actually enjoy, which is so exciting to say. Today we are talking about the new release from Mr. Ace Frehley lead guitar. We're talking about Origins Volume 2. And as the title indicates, this is the second volume in a series of releases from the Space Ace, and that is a series of releases where he is covering a bunch of songs that influenced him in his youth, and he's an older guy now, so you get a lot of classic rock on here, but luckily he does go for some deeper cuts here and there, and it's a lot of really cool stuff. It's exciting to hear him do all of these covers on these records because, you know, he's always done covers throughout his entire career and usually done a pretty good job with them. Now, the first Origins was not my favorite release from him. I thought it was okay, but it just wasn't the best. It definitely was one of the weaker records we've had in this kind of second level of his solo career where he's kind of been pretty prolific at this time. And it was okay, but I was going into this one a little bit reluctantly because of that. But even when you're going into something reluctantly and you're a Kiss fan, you get the thing on vinyl, and then you get the thing again on vinyl, and then you get two different versions of the CD, and we'll probably end up with more versions down the road. There's definitely more versions out already, but these are the ones I have right now. We're not going to go into the specific details of different colored vinyl and all those things here because this is a review, but down the road, maybe we'll do a video on that as well. Because we're here to talk about the music today, and oh boy, is the music great. So on these releases, Ace always enlists a bunch of cool friends and guests on the record. This one has John 5 appearing again. It has Lita Ford. It has Robin Zander from Cheap Trick. How cool is that? And of course, it's got Bruce Kulick featured on it. How awesome is that? Something that rarely happened in history. We got it at the Unplugged show, and then we got it on the Sellaway show, having them both there, and we also got it on the Eric Singer project release, but we don't have too many recordings of those two rocking out together, so having it on this is pretty great. And the song they choose to do together is Manic Depression from Jimi Hendrix, which is great, but we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves because we aren't quite to the songs yet. We're talking about the overall feel, the overall aesthetic, the overall recording of this record, and I gotta say, this one sounds great. I don't know what happened between Spaceman and this one, and I'm not saying Spaceman sounded bad, his last release from 2 years ago, but this one just sounds amazing. This is honestly one of the best recordings, sonically speaking, that we've had from the Spaceman in quite a while, maybe ever even. I mean, this thing sounds so good. When you listen to it on headphones, when you're listening to it in your car, when you listen to it on a cheap speaker, when you're listening to it on your phone, it sounds good in all places, and that's pretty impressive, especially in 2020 when we have so many releases, especially from some of these classic rock guys that are getting that brick wall treatment, you know, that brick wall treatment where everything's just louder than everything, and there's a little bit of that going on here, but overall it sounds really, really good. But regardless of how good or bad something sounds, if it's a cover record, it's gotta have some good covers. It has to have some choice cuts for the release, and this one's got them. It's got them. And for once, I actually took notes, kind of. I just wrote down some thoughts as I was listening to it because I've lived with this thing for about a month now. I'm a little bit late to the party, but as a result, I know that hopefully it's gonna age gracefully like wine. So the first track on the record is Good Times, Bad Times, the Led Zeppelin song. I don't even feel that I have to say that because if you're watching this review, you probably know who Led Zeppelin is. But regardless, you know Good Times, Bad Times, and what a way to kick off the record. What a way to kick it off. It sounds great. He really does a good job of keeping it close to the original while also making it his own. The drums on this song, there's some double bass. Wow. It's impressive. It really adds to the song. It makes you kind of wish that double bass was in the original. Some might say that's blasphemy, but it sounds great. It makes it heavier, makes it a little bit more modern without making it too modern. He adds some different things lyrically towards the end that are admittedly a little bit laughable, but in a fun Ace way. Like no one else could pull this off the way he does, and he pulls it off so well. So what a great way to start off the record. Honestly, one of the best tracks on the record. Almost too bad that it starts off the record because it is so good. It's hard to keep going from there, but oh boy, he keeps going from there. He keeps this thing going at a pace that only the Space Ace could do. So up next we have Never in My Life. It's a mountain song. I don't know the original, I'm not even gonna front, but oh boy, that riff is so good. It sounds very modern. This is a song that sounds modern. I went back and listened to the original, and it's weird because he didn't really change up too much, but this sounds like a modern song. This sounds like something you would hear from a current rock and roll band, and that's honestly kind of a testament to how good they did on this recording. So it's a great song, the riff is good, it's catchy, just like almost everything on this record, and it really makes me want to go check out some more Mountain songs, because I've never really checked them out too much. They're a little bit more obscure band, and that's what's cool about this release, that it's not all just the big heavy hitter hits, it's the songs that Ace really liked growing up. And next year we have Space Truckin', of course, from Deep Purple, and of course this is also the single off of the record. It's got the keyboards, he changed some lyrics to Space Ace Truckin', and it's a fun, catchy song. It's cool. It's a decent choice for a single, even if it's a little misleading since those keyboards aren't anywhere else on the record, but I think it represents the record pretty well. Again, it's a very good song. I want to sound like a broken record because all of these sound really good, but it's great, it's great. And next up we have another song that was released as a teaser for the record, and that is the song I'm Down, originally by the Beatles, of course, and this one has John 5 on it, and oh boy, time to make some Beatles fans mad at me. I think it's better than the original. I think it's so much better than the original. I think it's fun. It might be the best song on the record. I know I said that about Good Times, Bad Times, but this one is kind of the one that's right up there with it. What a great song. This, I think, might have been a better release for the first single, even because it is more representative of the record overall. And, you know, you got Ace doing what he does vocally and as well on the guitars, and you got John 5 on there just melting faces as he does. It's hard to figure out who's doing exactly what on this, but the guitar work is amazing. The whole backing band is amazing on this one. This one is such a good track, and yeah, I think I like it better than the original. Sorry guys, I'm probably getting someone mad at me in the comments on that one, but it's just the truth. And then next up on the record we have Jumpin' Jack Flash. Of course you know who that's by. I don't even feel I have to tell you that. And this one features Lita Ford, which I was going into a little bit hesitantly because I love Lita Ford. I love the Runaways. She was very nice when I met her too at the Kiss Expos 2 years in a row. Love Lita Ford, but on Origins Volume 1 they did Wild Thing together, and that one was just maybe the weakest track on the record. I hate to say, because it was a combination of two people I love, but Wild Thing is such a boring, overplayed song to me that probably played into it quite a bit. I remember wishing that they had done, you know, anything else. Almost any other song would have been more impressive. So on this one they're doing Jumpin' Jack Flash, another big hit, another song you've heard a lot, and guess what? They kill it on this one. I don't know if Lita is responsible for any of the guitar work on this, but her vocals are definitely front and center, and oh boy, she is amazing on this. It's a standout track because of her vocal delivery. The guitars are great as well. There's also a quick little reference to Kick Out the Jams by the MC5 near the end. Man, this one's such an improvement. Why couldn't they have done this on the first one? It's so great. Now I want them to do a whole record together. It would be so fun. I think that Lita and Ace just, they make sense together. A good combo. If we ever have tours again, maybe they could do a tour together. That would be something I would be down for. Next up we have a song called Politician, another one I'm not really too familiar with, and it has John 5 on it again. And the song is really good. It's one of the ones that's a little bit lower on the record if you ask me, but that's not saying it's bad because the whole record is killer. But even with that being said, the dueling guitar solos near the end between the two guys, man, it is the stuff that guitar guys just like fantasize about. Oh man, is it good. It's so good. Just listen to the last part. If you don't want to listen to the rest of it, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And then next up we have Lola, which is a song that I don't love the original, honestly. I like the Weird Al parody Yoda. I really like that. Some people are going to get really mad about that one. You know, in this video I've said I don't really love the Beatles version of I'm Down compared to this one. I've also said that I don't like this original song, but the Weird Al one is better, and it is, guys. But with that being said, this is on here, and his current girlfriend, Laura, that's who I put in the notes. I don't really remember her last name. Sorry, Kiss guys. Blow me up if you want. But she does vocals on it with Ace, and it really elevates it. That unison of their vocals together really elevates this song, and it's so catchy. This one should be a single. This one is so catchy. It has some humor in it, just like Ace is known for doing, and it's just performed really well. The acoustic guitars sound really great on it as well, and again, this is going to be the closest I'm ever going to get to having Ace sing a Weird Al song, because even when I was listening to it, I was hearing the Weird Al version, so I love it on every level. What a great song. And then next up, track number 8, we have 30 Days in the Hole. Another song I was unfamiliar with. I'm really showing my credibility, just throwing it out the window here, but oh boy. This one's the one that has the vocals from Robin Zander on it. You know Robin Zander from Cheap Trick, aka one of the greatest bands ever, and Robin Zander is one of the greatest singers ever, and he still has his pipes, and what can you say about this? What can you say about this? This is killer. This is the stuff that people have fantasized their entire life about. The idea of Cheap Trick and Kiss working together. Working together again, of course, but working together in the studio. It's great. It's great. I don't know what else to say. The vocals are perfect on it. The music is perfect on it. This is another one of the standout tracks on the record, and this is another one that I wish they could just tour together so we could hear it live. Could you imagine an Origins tour where Ace brought some of these people on the road with him, like John Five, Lita, Robin? I mean, it would be amazing, and you could probably pull it off too. You could have everybody kind of do their own sets, and then everybody come on stage and do some songs together. Wow, what a cool idea that would be. But nonetheless, back to the songs that are at hand. So we are up to track number 9. It's Manic Depression by the late great Jimi Hendrix. You should know that. And this is the one. This is the one with Bruce Kulick on it. And oh boy, how cool is that? Bruce Kulick and Ace Frehley in the studio together. Wow, in 2020, what a year. There's been a lot of bad things that have happened this year, but this was not one of them. It's great. It's really great. Ace's vocals are really good on this one. They're improved on this record overall in general. I mean, they sound great. They sound better than he's sounded in a long time. He hasn't really sounded bad ever, in my opinion. A lot of people, you know, they'll comment on Ace's vocal abilities and his non-singing, but he has a unique voice. But he sounds really good on this one. This track in particular sounds really good on it. And those guitars from Bruce and Ace, oh man, because I mean, you know, it's hard to deny that outside of Ace, Bruce was, you know, very good guitarist in Kiss. Even with Ace, he's a really good guitarist in Kiss, and he's a very versatile guy, and he still can play really well, and it just comes through on this track, and I assume this was just fun for both of them. I know that they've said they've been buddies for years, in recent years at the very least, so I can only imagine this was fun to make in the studio, and it really shows on the track. Then after that, we have probably the weakest song on the record. It's still okay, but it's a song called Kicks, and it's by Paul Revere and the Raiders originally. I didn't know the song. And it's cool. I mean, the acoustic guitars are definitely great. The harmonized guitar solo is something to behold, but it's largely forgettable on the record. It makes sense why it's kind of towards the end, but not to the very, very end. They don't want to necessarily leave you with this one, but it's okay. It's okay. It's just not my favorite. But with that being said, we move on to one that is one of my favorites, track 11, We Gotta Get Out of This Place. And oh boy, this is a cover from The Animals, this band that I'm very familiar with, but I don't know a huge amount about them, and this makes me want to look into them more. I looked up the original and it's great, but I love this Ace version. It's just so fun. This sounds like a track to have near the end of the record. It sounds like it should be the last track on the record. It sounds like it would be a great song to end a set with, because he's just saying, we gotta get out of here. And it's so awesome. But it doesn't end the record, because there is a bonus track. Now this bonus track is on pretty much every release, so I don't know which one it's excluded from, but the bonus track that follows up what would be a pretty fitting end to the record is also a very fitting end to the record. It's a cover of the Kiss song She, and oh boy, it's great. It's great. The Rock and Roll Residency guys, aka his backing band now, they really shine on this one. And it's great. It's great. It's a very modern sounding recording of it where they don't really change anything. It's just recorded with modern technology and modern distortion and guitars and everything. And they all take some turns with the vocals, and there's guitar just coming out of every orifice on this one. And they do the ending kind of like they do on a live. Even though it fades out, I kind of wish they just like ended it like the live version. But that's a very, very small thing to point out, because otherwise, what a killer recording of this song. What a great recording. Is it better than the original? Is it better than the live version? Definitely not, but it's so great. It's hard to compare them. They're different, okay? They're different. It's kind of hard to compare them, but I think it's wonderful. I think it's killer, and you know, I guess they should play it every night whenever they get to tour again, because yeah, it should be in the set. It's a great song. It's always a good set piece to have that and Parasite together, so why not have them together? And what a great way to end the record on a very high note with a Kiss song. It's just a great way to end this killer record, and oh boy, it just makes me excited for Volume 3, because Ace has already said Volume 3 is coming, and while I wasn't super excited going into this one from the first one, I'm pumped about Volume 3. So there you have it. I love this release. I love this record. It's great. Such a great record. Such a great record. I could just hug it. It's great though. It's truly a wonderful record. If I had to pick just a couple songs for people to sample, I would definitely say Good Times, Bad Times, a good one to start with. I'm Down is another great one. Even Lola would be really cool. We Gotta Get Out of This Place. And you know, if you're a Kiss fan, which That's the main people checking this out. Of course, the cover of She is a good starting place, and I've already named about half the record. Just go listen to the whole thing. Go listen to the whole thing. Even if you don't want to buy it, just go to Spotify. It's on there. It's fine. Just press the play button and listen to this thing. You will be impressed. It's crazy to think about the fact that there's a very good chance that Ace will be the last original member of KISS to be releasing music. I mean, he is as of right now. Of course, Paul keeps talking about Soul Station, and we don't know what Gene's gonna do at the end of the run for the band, but as it stands right now, Ace is probably gonna be the last one releasing new music because he is supposedly signed to another 3-record deal after this one, including Origins Volume 3, so we'll probably get, you know, another cover record and 2 more originals out of this guy. Man, that's impressive. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that? But with that being said, go check it out. It's great. It's a great, straightforward rock and roll record. There's not much else to say. Is it perfect? Maybe not, but it's darn close. As far as our rating goes, I'd give this thing like a 9.5 out of 10. Seriously, it's that good. Go listen to it. If you're a fan of KISS, if you're a fan of Ace, if you're a fan of just good old-fashioned rock and roll, you're gonna like this thing. I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about it, and as a result, it makes all these reviews a little bit boring probably, but hopefully I put an interesting swing on this if you lasted the whole video. So with that being said, go check out the record. What did you guys think of it? That's what I want to know. In the comments below, let me know what you thought of this record. What were your favorite tracks? Do you have anything that you agree with me about or maybe disagree with me about? Let me know in the comments below. And again, thank you guys so much, so very much for sticking with me and checking out this video. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button, hit the alarm so you get the updates. Give the video a thumbs up. And once again, my name is Kimchi Chris, and I will see you guys on the next video.